All right, so we've got another example here. We've got two functions, f of x equals 2x squared, g of x equals 2 over x minus 5. So, of course, our 2x squared, our domain for that is going to be all real numbers. But for g of x, we're going to need to exclude x equals 5 from the domain because that's going to cause a divide by 0 error. So we've got all real numbers for f, and we've got everything but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for g. So when we think about overlapping these for f plus g, f minus f times g, so on and so forth, our domain is going to be everything but 5. So we do f plus g of x. So first off, our domain for that will be everything but 5, right? And finding the function here, of course, we have 2x squared plus 2 over x minus 5. That's really all you're doing for this. So same sort of thing, oops, sorry. For f times g, right, we're going to do f times g of x. And so we would have 2x squared times 2 over x minus 5. So 4x squared over x minus 5. So same story. Domain is the intersection or overlap of the domains of the two functions. So we're just going to have to exclude 5. All right, what about f over g of x? So this one's a little bit tricky because we're looking at 2x squared f over 2 over x minus 5. Now, we're going to simplify this. However, the domain is still going to be that x can't be 5 because that will cause g of x to be undefined. That's not allowed. Now, we don't have to throw anything else out because no matter what the value of x is, that's never going to equal 0, so we don't need to worry about anything there. However, I do want to show you something that this is why you can't kind of blindly trust your computer algebra systems, because if we do this and we say, okay, let's f of x be 2x squared, g of x is going to be 2 over x minus 5, h of x is going to be f of x over g of x. Okay, and you can see, and it's got it defined there, but if I ask it what h of 5 is, it is going to tell me 0, not undefined. And you can see kind of if we zoom out on this, it doesn't have that asymptote there. H of 5.0001, really small number and all, but this should not be in the domain. Now, if I do exactly the same thing in a more advanced program called Maple, and this costs a couple, for student to buy it is a couple $100 these days. If you buy it when you're not a student, it's a lot more than that. So I'm defining my two functions as f of x. So I've got, there we go. And we're going to let h be a function of x, and that's going to be f of x over g of x. So it should give us the same sort of thing there. And if I ask it, hey, what is h of 5? It's going to say, oh, no, division by 0, because it is doing things the right way. So you do have to think about this and make sure that you are getting the correct answer out of your GeoGebra or your calculator or whatever, because sometimes they lie to you. Okay, so what about doing g over f? We're going to do the same thing there. We're going to say, okay, great, g over f of x. I've got 2 over x minus 5 over 2x squared. And of course, here we need to also exclude x equals 0, because that's going to cause another divide by 0 error. So our domain, oops, for this one is going to be everything but 0 and 5. And we can clean this one up a little bit if we want to. Actually, so the 2's will cancel. We will get 1 over x squared times x minus 5. And that's a good place to break.